Hello everyone and welcome to the 1B.C video. So this is our third video in the appendix part of the chapter 1. So this is dealing with measurement, and today we're going to be talking about volume, which is sometimes referred to capacity. So what we're trying to do is measure how much of some solution, typically liquid, is inside of a container. So for example, how much soda is in a can, or how much milk is in a jug, or something like that. So we're going to deal with the American, also known as customary units of volume first. They're located here in your table. And we're going to do this similar to the way that we have been in the past with our conversions. So if we go ahead and look at what we're starting with, we have 9 gallons. And I know when I want to convert this, I'm going to put gallons down below. So when I look up above, I notice that I don't have gallons to ounces. I do have gallons, and then I see ounces over here in cups. So if I look at gallons goes to quarts. Okay, well then I didn't want quarts, so I'm going to put quarts down here. Quarts goes to pints. Pints goes to cups. And then cup goes to ounces. And so you can see this one is a little bit longer because we're starting with our absolute biggest measurement of volume here and going to our lowest. So let's go ahead and fill it in using what we know. We know 1 gallon is 4 quarts. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. We know that 1 quart is 2 pints. We know that 1 pint is 2 cups, and 1 cup is 8 ounces. So if we were to multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom, the denominator would be 1. We don't have to divide by 1, but you're more than welcome to. Remember that anytime you divide by 1, it stays exactly the same. So really we're focusing on what do we get in the numerator. So that's where we're going to multiply all of this together. Okay, and so you're welcome to do it on a calculator if you need to. 9 times 4 is 36, times 2 is 72, times 2 is 144, times 8. So 9 times 4 times 2 times 2 times 8 is 1,152. So as we see, gallons cancels, quarts cancels, pints cancels, cups cancels, and I'm left with ounces. And so my final answer is 1,152 ounces. Okay, let's try the next example. We see that we have 24 quarts, so we have 24 quarts, and we're trying to get to gallons. So I'm going to put quarts here. Quarts can either go to pints, or quarts can go backwards to gallons. And we see that 1 gallon is 4 quarts. So if I put that over 1 and I multiply straight across the top, I get 24 over 4. Quarts cancels with quarts, and I'm left with gallons. 24 divided by 4 is 6. So 24 quarts is 6 gallons. If we keep going on in that table, 144 ounces. So 144 ounces. And we want to get to cups. So when we look in our table, we see that there are, I'm going to put ounces on the bottom and cups up here. There are 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. So when I multiply, I get 144 over 8. My ounces cancel, and I get cups. So 144 divided by 8, oops, that was 5, is 18. So that would be 18 cups. Okay, we're going to keep going. 3 quarts into pints. So I'm going to put quarts down below, pints up above. And if you look at your table, you see that 1 quart is 2 pints. 3 times 2 is 6 over 1, which is 6. Quarts cancels out, and I'm left with pints. Okay, so now I'm going from gallons to cups. Excuse me. So 2 gallons, and then I know I need gallons down below. Gallons goes to quarts if we look at our table. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. And then I know that quarts goes to pints. 1 quart is 2 pints. And then if I look at pints, that goes to cups, where 1 pint is 2 cups. So if we look at multiplying, straight across, 2 times 4 is 8, times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32. So 2 gallons is 16 cups. That also means 1 gallon would be 16 cups. So if you want to write that down, you're welcome to. Good to know. 1 gallon is 16 cups. All right. Last but not least, we have 10 quarts and we want to get to cups. So I have 10 quarts, and quarts goes down below. Quarts can go to pints or gallons. We're going to go to pints because we want to make it smaller. So 1 quart is 2 pints. And then when we convert pints to cups, 1 pint is 2 cups. 10 times 2 is 20 across the top. 2 times, and then 20 times 2 is 40. So we would have 40 over 1, or 40 cups. So that's how we convert within the customary or American units of volume. Now we're looking at metric. The base of the metric system for volume is liters. Okay, and so we have liters. 1 liter is 1,000 cubic centimeters, or we call that cm cubed or cc's. They're the same thing. Okay, cubic centimeters can be abbreviated in either one. And remember, the prefix milli means 1/1000th. So if we look at this middle one, 1 milliliter is 0.001, or we can say that 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. You could use either one of them. Okay, so if you like decimals, do it that way. If you like whole numbers, that's fine as well. If we look at 4.5 liters, right, if we put liters down below, 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So when I multiply 4.5 times 1,000, that gives me 4,500 milliliters. 280 milliliters to liters. So we start the other way, and we know that 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. When I multiply, I end up with 280 milliliters over, right? You see how your milliliters are going to cancel? I'm going to go ahead and cancel those out. I should have taken a chance to look at my units just a little bit closer. Looking at your units can help you determine if you were right. My denominator is 1,000, and I have only liters left. So I can divide that out in my head, or if you need to use your calculator, you're welcome to use your calculator, and that's 0.28. So I get 0.28 liters. Again, working within the metric system is pretty basic. They really only measure between liters and milliliters. Cubic centimeters is fine. That's applied more in medicine. So let's take a look. When a doctor prescribes medicine, especially within the United States, they can prescribe them in milliliters, which is the same thing as cc's, or they could prescribe them in teaspoons and tablespoons. This is really common, especially with young children, when we're talking about things like Tylenol or other liquid medications. So, for example, if my pediatrician or my child's doctor prescribes 45 milliliters, I want to convert that to tablespoons. Or, excuse me, teaspoons. That's what TSP stands for, teaspoons. Those are the little spoons in your silverware drawer. So, 5 milliliters is 1 teaspoon. That's where I see my 2 units. Okay, so when I look, I see milliliters, teaspoons. I see 5 milliliters is 1 teaspoon. So 45 milliliters, I'm going to put milliliters on the bottom and teaspoons up top. 5 milliliters is 1 teaspoon, which means I'd have 45 over 5. My milliliters cancels. 45 divided by 5 is 9, so I have 9 teaspoons. The big T, the capital T, stands for tablespoons. Those are the big spoons in a silverware drawer. So when I look at trying to convert them, 3 tablespoons, I'm going to convert tablespoons to teaspoons. And 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon. So that would be 9 teaspoons. So what that tells us is that this 45 milliliters, which was 9 teaspoons, is actually the same thing as 3 tablespoons. So you could measure them either way. Okay, so let's do 2 last examples and we'll be done for this video. 18.5 milliliters, and we want to get to tablespoons. Well, I see milliliters to teaspoons, so I'm going to use that because that's all I have as far as milliliters and a spoon measurement. So 5 milliliters is 1 teaspoon, and then I'm going to put teaspoons down below to go to my tablespoon, and 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon. So if I go ahead and cross out my units, my milliliters cancels, my teaspoons cancel. So 18 times 1 is 18.5 right there. And then 5 times 3 is 15. So I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator to do 18.5 divided by 15. And it gives me 1.23 repeating. And so this would be 1.23 repeating tablespoons. Or approximately 1 1/4. Remember, 1/4 is 0.25. Okay, last example here. 1 tablespoon. We want to go to milliliters, so we're actually going backwards. So I need to put my tablespoon, and tablespoons goes to teaspoons according to what we have up there. And then I know that 1 teaspoon would go to milliliters. So I can see my teaspoons and my tablespoons cancel out. 1 tablespoon is 3 teaspoons, and then 1 teaspoon is 5 milliliters. So 1 times 3 times 5 is 15 over 1, or 15 milliliters.